Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. This video is episode 3 of my F1 2020 MyTeam Career mode, and this is us for the Vietnam Grand Prix. For this race we have two upgrades going on to the car. It's the aerodynamic upgrades, and that is about it, but that hopefully should help out the issues I have with the car, where it's just a pain in the arse to do in the slow speed and high speed corners. But now as we're going through to the Vietnam Grand Prix, hopefully we can have a better one than Bahrain. That was a pretty miserable Grand Prix. So now as we advance the time, we're getting ready for this race, and we do have upgrades also to the engine going into this race, I think, from Honda. So hopefully that will help out going down the straights. But we go through for the Vietnam Grand Prix. In the practice sessions, I've been feeling confident with the car. It's been feeling really good, especially in that high-speed third sector, and we can hopefully get through and match our teammate. I'm feeling pretty confident with the car. In the first practice session, I was struggling a bit, but now I'm much better with the car. So now as we come through to start our first lap, it was a pretty messy lap, I'm not going to lie. Things could have been a lot better, but as I made a few mistakes, as you'll see here, locking up the front left tyre going into penultimate corner, which means that I didn't get the best run possible. So now as we go through for the final corner, it is going to be a 1:36.7, and that does mean that does put us last place. No surprises there, but we're 5/10 off Nicholas Latifi in the Williams and a second off our teammate. But I know there's plenty of time in that lap, so we'll go through for the second lap, which actually does work out to be our fastest lap of the session. Due to unfortunate circumstances on the third run. So as we come through to start our final run, we come through start-finish straight, DRS open, hot lap mode engaged. We're actually already gaining time down the straight as we get a better run through the final corner. First gear now, second gear, now going to short shift up the third and then fourth. To get just so we don't keep the rear end in check going through this long right-hander. Now going through the second of the right-handers, short shifting up to fourth, going down this straight right now. We're already 1.5 tenths up, but now as we go to the final sector, we're feeling so confident in the car, chucking it in. We're getting on the power really early. We're going through the penultimate corner now. Best run we had through there. Going into second, short shift up the third, then fourth to get the traction. Going through in fourth, going through final corner. We are actually 5 tenths up, and that does put us in 21st place, ahead of our teammate Louis Delatraz. But as you'll see in a second, we don't get a third run in, and that is because we just left the pit lane too late, and it's really unfortunate, as I do feel we could have done a better time, and it's just really unfortunate. I would have hoped for more from this qualifying session, but hopefully in the race we can improve. But now come through. But this is where we didn't get through. As we come through for the penultimate corner, we don't actually finish the lap, and we don't get set another one. So we're starting last. But there is a sugar coating to this. We are only 2 tenths off Nicholas Latifi in the Williams in 21st place, and we are 2 tenths off our teammate as well. So if I had the final run, I know I could have matched those guys. So it's not as bad as it seems. Starting last for 2 races in a row now, but now hopefully we are in a much better position to capitalise, and hopefully we can do it. So it's time for the Vietnam Grand Prix.
Welcome along to the Vietnamese capital of Hanoi, a vibrant city built on the banks of the magnificent Red River. Today it's the backdrop for the latest round of the Formula One World Championship, with a circuit specifically designed to encourage overtaking opportunities. I think we could be in for a cracking race today. A lap of Hanoi circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital. 23 corners and a wet circuit today that will challenge our drivers in each and every one of those turns, as the close barriers loom invitingly on the outside. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris and Sergio Perez, Stroll, Fiat, Kimi Raikkonen and Gasly, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Esteban Ocon, and Kevin Magnussen, Russell, Delatraz, Latifi, and the Professor. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So it's time for the Vietnam Grand Prix. It's starting in wet conditions for the first 10 laps of the race, but it's not wet enough for intermediate, so we will be starting on the medium compound tyres. Logic here is that we can use the mediums, get the slower tyre out of the way, and when it dries out we can use the 2 faster compounds, and hopefully we can capitalise on people starting on the softs that have hit early. So now here we are for the Vietnam Grand Prix. It is 5 red lights. And away we go for the Vietnam Grand Prix. We actually get a pretty decent start, short shifting up to 3rd gear. We actually do get a better start than Russell and Latifi, and Delatraz and Latifi, my bad. And so going through into turn 1 now. We get really late on the brakes. We're going down there outside. We do try to go around the outside of Ocon, but he does block us off. But now we're going through turn 1 now, round the outside of Ocon. We don't quite have the run, as he does have the preferable line, and we are a bit on the curb. So now we are up into P19 in this race, gaining 3 positions off the line. Brilliant start from us. So now we're right behind Esteban Ocon going through lap 1. You can see here that we are lacking grip. We can't quite get the run, we're snapping quite a bit, and that Ferrari power unit is something to be feared. And in this race, it is ridiculously powerful, especially that Mercedes power unit as well. They're really powerful, and we're going to send it down the inside of Esteban Ocon. He does squeeze us into the apex a bit, but we still stick our nose in. We do the move successfully round the outside, but we fights back into this carousel section, and we don't quite make the move. And once again, struggling for traction in this race, so leaves us getting on the power late. But now our engine, the Honda power unit, even though it has had an upgrade this race, it's still underpowered compared to the Mercedes and Ferrari power units. So on the straights, we are going to be a bit vulnerable. Even with the overtake and rich mix, we're still going to be vulnerable, and they're going to have a send it down the inside of Esteban Ocon into this hairpin. But he still once again are able to defend, and we get a really bad run out of this hairpin. So now we're short shifting up the gears, trying to maximise traction. But even though we do that, Latifi still manages to get through. So now as we head on to lap 3 now in this race, we're trying to chase down Kimi Raikkonen, but we have Romain Grosjean right behind us and Louis Delatraz behind him, our teammates. So now we're going down this carousel through the back straight. We're trying to get as good a run as possible, but still struggling on grip. It's still really greasy out the track. We're struggling for grip. But now there's an instant ahead of us on track. Somebody has lost their front wing, and the virtual safety car has been deployed. So unfortunately, it doesn't last long enough for us to be able to box, as it does last at the end of the lap. So as you can see here, we're going through the final penultimate corner now. It's lap 3, and on the restart, we slow down to try to make our delta positive, but it does mean we were 2 seconds down on our delta, and we lost an unnecessary amount of time there, which is really unfortunate. But now as we're going down the start-finish straight, Grosjean does get really close to us, but he doesn't quite close enough to make a move. So he will be a threat on this lap. But now into turn 3 now, we're trying to maximise the grip. I've said it many times, it is difficult out there, as it's rain's pouring, and it's not like I said, it's not enough for intermediates. But now we're on lap 5, we're on the next lap, we were safe from lap 4, but next lap is where it gets down. And now Grosjean tries to go for a move, but opening the DRS, he slams it into the wall, very Grosjean-esque. But it does mean that Delatraz has got past him, and we are now safe from Romain Grosjean, but we once again get a really bad run out of the hairpin, which is not ideal in these conditions, and it's lighting up the rear tyres and struggling for heat. But now on lap 7, Delatraz pits, so he's going to have the preferable strategy in this race, as the undercut around Vietnam is really powerful, as we've got Kimi Raikkonen right behind us. We're going to be boxing this lap, but Kimi Raikkonen goes down the inside into turn 1, so it's not the best of circumstances, as we're going to be struggling. We're on the slower compound of tyre, and we're just trying to capitalise on what everyone else is doing. But as we're coming through lap 8 now, we will be pitting this lap, and hopefully once we go onto the soft tyre, we are able to gain back time on Delatraz, who has got the undercut on us. So now into the pit lane now, getting down to the speed limit of 37 miles an hour quickly. Now go into our pit box. It's hopefully going to be a good stop from the Slimbo Racing guys, and it's a very mediocre stop as we struggle to get on the power, as I just released a clutch too early, and it's a 2.9 second stop. Exiting the pit lane now, we are last place in this Grand Prix, as Delatraz has jumped us. Even though he was behind us by a second, he gained 6 seconds by getting the undercut. It's just absolutely ridiculous how much the undercut is round here. But now Grosjean's the next car on track by about 5 seconds, so we've got to try chase him down on our fresh softs, and on lap 9 we've got to just do our best here. So we're going through now. It's just, this is a very tough race. Ocon is actually out of this race in the Renault, so it's really hard, this race. It's because we've got an underpowered engine, but we did make another pit stop in this race to used softs. But on lap 25 of this race, Kimi Raikkonen goes down the inside of us, but gets held up on Latifi. We go down the inside of both of them into the corner now. Latifi manages to brake a little bit later, but we try to go down the inside as first gear, trying to short shift up the gears to make sure we get as much grip as possible. And now going down this mini straight, Kimi Raikkonen with the Ferrari power unit going down our inside. We try to squeeze him to the right, but it's not quite enough. He's still alongside us. But now going on the exit of the corner, we get the better run on our soft tyres. Very worn at this stage as we pit on like lap 15. So very worn tyres, as we were meant to be making another pit stop, but we decided against it, as that was our best chance at battling anyone and just keeping up with everybody ahead of us. But now Kimi Raikkonen going down this start-finish straight has got past us with that Ferrari power unit. It's just ridiculously powerful, and we need to get ourselves one of those when we can afford it. But yeah, I'll hold the power unit. Even though, like I said, even though it's got upgrades, it's not enough to compete. So as you can see, it's just pulling away down the straight. It's got the acceleration, top speed. It's absolutely mental. Now Roman Grosjean is right behind us, going down the outside. He does it before the corner. We send it down the inside, trying to compete. We go around the outside once again, try to keep it on the power, to get short shifting up the gears. But just with the way the corner works, he manages to stick it down the inside, and he's got the move done into that carousel onto the straight. But now once again, we're going down this straight, overtake on Rich Mixon. Hopefully we still Grosjean enough so he doesn't have DRS down the straight, and he does not. We've got DRS open, we've got overtake, we're running out of DRS. We try to go down the inside, Grosjean blocks us off. We try it round the outside, we don't quite brake late enough. We try a switch back, but it's not enough in this race. We make a bit of contact, but luckily no damage. But it's not enough in this race, and that does mean we are last place. It's really unfortunate, but now on lap 27 now, we have the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel behind us, who's actually leading this race, and we are coming through to get lapped in this Vietnam Grand Prix, which is not the best of circumstances. We could have done with the extra lap to try to get Latifi, but yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Now as we're going down this mini straight, Vettel gets past us. We're trying our best to keep up with him so we can get DRS down the main straight so we can gain as much time as possible, but it's just really hard with this race. We had the car. We could have asked for so much more from this race. We had the car to get higher up, as Belatraz is showing, but he just had preferable strategy. Everything fell in his favour and everything worked against us. But now as we're coming through the final corner, we are coming through for P21 in the Vietnam Grand Prix. Could have been better, but it was the best we could have done.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the Vietnam Grand Prix. Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Sebastian Vettel would definitely be my first choice. He showed up a lot of the drivers out on the track today and didn't show any signs of slowing down.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further progress up the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So as we look at the results of this Vietnam Grand Prix, Louis Delatraz comes through for P17 in this race and us for P21. As I said, it could have been a much better race had the pieces fell in our favour, but it's just really unfortunate with how things fell, with strategy and just overall how the transition period happened. So now we are going through for the management section of this video for the after end of the race. So now we're looking throughout the rivalry breakdown. Nicolas Latifi is now our rival, and we match him going in for this race, as we are now just 1 point behind him. If we beat him, we get 1,000 acclaim. So let's aim to do that. But now as we look at our acclaim, my acclaim actually levels up, so we're up to level 2 now, and now there's the team acclaim that's closer to level 4 now. If we get it to level 5, that's when we get a new sponsor. So that will be the best of circumstances for us. As we go through our money breakdown, we complete our sponsor objective. None of our cars broke down, and none of us lost money through the damage. So now we plus 196k, so we're now 2.2 million in the bank. So hopefully we can put this to good use now. So we go through now to see the factory, see the R&D upgrades, and allocate some activities before next race. So we've gone for the sponsor event, helps the team out, driver and acclaim and all that good stuff. But now second driver PR training, as that just gives us money and increases Delatraz's driver acclaim. So hopefully we can make him look a much better driver, and we get him some simulator training as it gives him experience as well. So hopefully make him a much better driver. We do decide we want to get another aerodynamic upgrade onto the car, onto the rear, so we've got a much more balanced car. So as you can see, we've got three upgrades now in the pipeline: one for engine, one for reliability, and one for aero. So hopefully now we can make the car just much better down the straights and in the corners, and be able to compete. As you can see now, we're getting our first upgrades for the chassis department, where it's going to be coming on the 11th of April, and it's going to be for build time. As we looked through all of the other choices, we felt build time was the best choice and best investment, as it means we can get the upgrades thicker and faster, and it's what we can afford. We probably could have saved up for fabrication, but build time, we can have it now, and it'll be a very soon upgrade and just be the best thing for the chassis. Although we do need to get that up a level. So that's been the Vietnam Grand Prix for my F1 2020 MyTeam Career mode. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for videos every Tuesday and Friday. And we're currently doing MyTeam videos daily, so be sure to check that out. We have a packed episode, as we've got an invitational event tomorrow for the Chinese Grand Prix. So hopefully we can have a good showing there. It'll be a combination of engine and chassis, so hopefully we can show what our car can do and prove that we're better than Williams. So as I said, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, press the bell icon to know whenever I've uploaded, and everybody just have a great day and keep up to date with the channel. Bye bye.